My own family thought I cheated when my grades jumped 100 points. They had a reason to doubt it. A month ago, I was the kid who panted after one lap and guessed on every exam. Then a panel started rewarding me for running and sleeping early, and the quiet boy at the back of class began rewriting every record in the school. It all starts on the first day of my second year. In a noisy classroom where nobody knows my name, I am slumped over my desk in the third row from the back near the window. I have lived 17 years as the most forgettable kid alive. My grades are average, my face is average, my everything is average. I am the type of person a camera would sweep right past. Then a light brightens in front of me. I think it is the window glass, so I squint, but the light stays. A see-through blue panel floats in the air, its edges glowing. I poke it and my finger passes straight through. My deskmate Li Mingyao glances at me, probably wondering why I am stabbing the air like a dweeb, but I cannot pay attention to her. Words scroll across the panel. A male god cultivation system is bound to me. Then it starts rating me, and the rating is brutal. My appearance is 51, which means no one would look at me twice. My physique is 48, the kind that pants after 2 laps. My spirit is 47, and it actually calls me a dullard to my face. I almost cough up blood. I want to ask the panel who it thinks it is talking to, but a girl in the front row turns and stares at me, so I shut my trap and pretend to read a book. The panel offers me 2 tasks: jog 3 kilometers, and I get physique +1 and appearance +0.5 a point. Sleep before 10:30 every night, and I get spirit +1. No money, no gift pack, no conqueror's hockey, just numbers. But becoming handsome and smart by running and sleeping sounds like a deal even a smooth brain like me should take. I pinch my thigh and feel the pain, which means I am not dreaming. After school, I turn down my childhood friend Yi Zhou, who wants me to take the bus home with him. I tell him I am running home instead. He looks at me like I just announced I am moving to a magical world. My house is over 5 kilometers away, and I almost flatlined during the last fitness test. He reaches out to feel my forehead, sure I have a fever, but I slap his hand away and tell him to peace out. So I run. After 500 meters, I start questioning my life choices. My chest feels tight and my throat is as dry as sandpaper. At 1 kilometer, I lean on a pole and pant. The panel reminds me I have not reached 3 kilometers, so I curse and keep going. I have walked this road for nearly 2 years, but running it feels completely different. The camphor trees that used to slide past the bus window now crawl past me one by one. A landlady's tiny dog barks at me from a doorway, but I do not have the strength to even wave at it. At 2.5 kilometers, my lungs stop hurting so much. Maybe I pushed past my limit, or maybe my legs are too numb to complain. My breathing slowly settles. 3 kilometers. The panel pops up and tells me I did not die after running for the first time, then awards my points. I bend over and pant on the side of the road. My steps feel a little lighter. I touch my face and it almost feels smoother. The bus stop is right there, but I choose to walk the last stretch and save the 2 yuan for a soda. When I get home, my family is already eating without me. I am used to it. My sister Wanting, who is in junior high, has taken my usual seat and refuses to give it up. She will not even change the TV channel for me. And my mom tells me to stop fighting with my sister and just watch on my phone. I eat my cold food with my head down and watch the panel from the corner of my eye. My appearance has already ticked up to 51.5. A new line appears, telling me that reaching 60 appearance will unlock something called Clear Youthful Charm. That night I lie in bed and open a short video app out of habit, but it feels off. I usually scroll for half an hour and feel more awake the longer I watch. Tonight I last only a few videos before I get annoyed and exit. The room goes quiet. It is only 9:48 earlier than the 10:30 deadline. I stare at the long-term task, then put the phone down and close my eyes. I wake before the alarm even rings, feeling clear instead of groggy. My skin is less oily. The panel settles my spirit reward. Since it is still early, I get up and run the 3 kilometers again, so I will not be thinking about it all day. My rhythm is steadier than yesterday, and by 3 kilometers I am only lightly sweating. The panel tells me my progress is visible to the naked eye, and my numbers climb again. The days start to loop. I run every morning and sleep on time every night. The changes pile up bit by bit. By the 3rd day, I am not gasping after the run. By the 5th, I am no longer last in the 1,000-meter test. By the 7th, people in the hallway take a second look at me. By the 12th day, my physique breaks 60, and a passive skill called full stamina unlocks. I move my arms and feel almost no tiredness, even with energy to spare. 12 days. And my physique and spirit have each climbed 12 points while my appearance rose 6. That morning at breakfast, my sister stares at my face while chewing a steamed bun. She demands to know what skincare products I have been secretly using because my skin keeps getting cleaner. I tell her I have used nothing but a shower. She does not believe me, but I just keep eating. The numbers glowing quietly in the corner of my eye. A week later, PE class rolls around, and the teacher lines us up for the 1,000-meter fitness test. The boys in front are busy yapping about how Zhao Zihang, the school sports specialist, is going to take first like always, betting on how badly he will lap everyone else. I just loosen my ankles and say nothing. My body feels light, and for the first time, I am almost looking forward to it. The whistle blows. Everyone shoots out, and for once I am not dumped at the back. I tuck in right behind the lead group. By the second lap, people start dying. Their breathing turns ragged and their steps go heavy. I stay steady, breathing in for 2 steps and out for 2, my body running like it is on autopilot. By the third lap, I start to accelerate not by gritting my teeth, but by following the rhythm and naturally speeding up. I pass them one by one. The last 100 meters comes down to me and Zhao Zihang. He notices and pushes harder, his explosive power fierce from years of training. But I do not fall behind. I close the gaps step by step, then slide past him from the outside and cross the line first. The whole field goes silent for a second, then bursts into shocked whispers. The PE teacher stares at his stopwatch, looks up and confirms it. First place, and the time is absurdly fast. I am barely panting. Zhao Zihang refuses to accept it. He stomps over and demands a rematch right there, blaming the chaotic pace for his loss. I shrug and walk back to the start. The whistle blows again, and this time he explodes from the gun, trying to bury me with raw speed. But I stay glued behind him, breathing easy, looking like I am just out for a stroll. On the third lap, I nudge my speed up that little bit, close in, and pass him on the final straight. Second time, still first and easier than before. He stops at the finish line, hands on his knees, gasping, unable to say a word. The PE teacher walks straight over, his eyes gleaming, and asks if I have been training. I tell him I just run a bit. He stares at me, then asks if I have ever thought about going into sports, saying that with results like this I have a real shot. I tell him I will think about it. The whole class goes quiet again, all eyes on me, while Zhao Zihang stands there looking like a finished man. Then a girl with wheat-colored skin pushes through the crowd. Her name is Zhou Ye, and she walks right up and hands me a bottle of water, telling me to catch. She has clearly been doing her own sprinting. Sweat still beads on her forehead, and her uniform clings to her shoulders. She grins and asks how she never noticed I could run so well before. The classmates start jeering that even Zhou Ye came over, since she rarely talks to boys this casually. She raises an eyebrow and says that next time we test the 1,000 meters, she will be in my group, then turns and walks off without another word. Outside the crowd, my deskmate Li Mengyao watches the whole thing. This quiet boy who has sat beside her for over a year is turning into someone she does not recognize, and it has only been a few days. That night I check the panel and find my numbers still climbing. Physique past 60, appearance creeping up, spirit getting clearer. The visible feedback every single day feels great, but the more I look at my life, the more I realize I am sick of begging my family for money. My mom hands me 5 yuan a day and tells me a high schooler does not need more, while my sister gets 20 and still pouts for extra. I decide I will go find a weekend job and stop asking them for a single cent. So after school I walk the commercial street outside the gate, eyeing the little ads stuck to every pole: weekend part-time, flyer handout, daily pay, restaurant hiring. I walk into a bubble tea shop and ask if they need part-time help. The guy behind the counter looks up and says they already have enough people. I try a second shop, then a third. Either they are full or they need experience. After a full round, the sky is darkening and I have nothing. I stand by the street and let out a breath, surprised at how hard this is. Just then a crisp voice asks if I am looking for a part-time job. I turn and see a girl standing not far away. White shirt, jeans, hair tied up simply, looking clean and neat. She seems a few years older than me, more like a college student, and she is holding a stack of flyers. She shakes them and says she is short on people for the weekend. Handing out flyers, daily pay, 120. I glance at the flyer and ask how much per day. She says 120, then adds that if I do well it can go up. I nod and agree on the spot. She seems surprised I said yes so fast and asks if I do not want to ask more. I tell her that is enough. To me, 120 is enough to eat lunch with meat at school for 2 weeks. She smiles and tells me to add her so she can send the time and place. I pull out my old phone with the cracked laggy screen, and it takes 2 tries to scan the code. She looks at it and cannot help smiling, saying my phone has a real sense of history. I tell her that as long as it works, it is fine. It is an old phone my sister threw away. She nods and tells me her name is Lin Wan, and to meet at Chunchi Road on Saturday at 9, since it is crowded there, and not to be late. Hey everyone, hope you are enjoying the story so far. If you are, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe, it really helps out a lot. Now back to it. Saturday morning I show up at Chunchi Road. The crowd is even bigger than I expected, and it is not even 9 yet. Lin Wan walks over carrying a canvas bag stuffed with flyers, her hair tied up simply. She looks at me and pauses, saying I seem a bit different from last time. I tell her maybe it was just getting dark before, and she did not see clearly. She lays out the rules. Do not throw the flyers in the trash or she deducts 50, and do not stand there with a sour face. Smile, I take my stack pink and white, advertising a dessert shop called Nanhei, and head for the busy subway entrance. Lin Wan calls out that I should smile more and stop keeping such a straight face. The twin-tailed girl beside her giggles. then gets glared at and told her face is sour too. I give Linwan a smile and promise to work hard, and the tips of her ears go a little hot. Thanks to my full stamina passive, I do not get tired. I walk around, read the flow of people, and hand flyers out with crisp, gentle movements. Most people who take one glance up and take a second look at me. A lot of the girls who were rushing past slow down, smile, and take the flyer. Some even saying thank you. My speed is more than double the other part-timers. A grumpy middle-aged man who waves off everyone else actually stops for me, takes the flyer and scans the coupon code on the spot. Linwan watches from across the street and mutters that I have got something, while the twin-tailed girl stares at my back and whispers that I am cute when I smile. What I do not notice is that under the shade of the trees across the street, Jo Ye has been standing there for a long time. She came after hearing the words Chunchi Road, telling herself she was just passing by. She watches me hand out flyers seriously, not slacking like the others, and slowly her amused little smile fades into something more complicated. She had thought a guy like me would be at a cram school grinding problems on the weekend, not earning a daily wage on the street. Eventually she walks over and pretends she just happened to be here. I hand her a flyer and tell her to try it. She takes one, stands beside me, and copies my movements, but her voice comes out stiff and the first person walks right past without looking. The twin-tailed girl laughs out loud, and Linwan tells her not to rush. Jo Ye pursed her lips and tries again, more natural this time, and the next person actually takes it. She looks down at the flyers in her hand, then at me already fluently handing out my third, and admits quietly that it is really not as simple as it looks. By 2 in the afternoon I finish my whole stack. Linwan counts out the money and hands it to me, 150-30 more than agreed, telling me I performed well. I head home with the cash in my pocket, and for the first time the meat I planned to buy with my own money feels like it tastes better already. Over the next stretch of days my life loops again. I run, I attend class, I sleep on time, and the numbers keep climbing. Then one morning the panel tells me my appearance has officially broken 60, unlocking the passive skill Clear Youthful Charm. I rush home and shower, then wipe the mist off the mirror and my hand freezes. My skin is clean and bright, my eyes are clear, and there is a sharp, fresh look between my brows. My features have not really changed, but the whole feel of me is different. The kind of guy people cannot help looking at twice. My sister wanting nearly drops her steamed bun at the breakfast table, demanding to know what skincare products I have been hiding from her, because there is no way a shower wiped away my acne marks from 2 days ago. My mom comes out of the kitchen and freezes too, asking if I have grown into my looks. I tell her I bought a new phone with money I earned myself and slide her offered cash back across the table. She opens her mouth but says nothing. Monday morning I walk into the classroom, and the room goes quiet for a second, like someone hit a glitch. Then heads turn. A girl in the front row stops her pen. Someone in the back row chokes off their laugh. Yijo's eyes go wide as he stares at me from the doorway, muttering, "Holy crap." The whispers start, asking who I am and whether I really look like the old Chen Jiyuan. I just walk to my seat and sit down like I hear nothing. Li Mengyao glances at me, then glances again before lowering her head. The girls at the next table go quiet when she sits near me. The first class is English, and the teacher Su Qing walks in, pauses, and her gaze lands on me with a flicker of doubt. She calls on me to summarize a reading passage. I glance at the textbook, then speak, my logic clean and clear, even adding a layer the standard answer missed. The whispering slowly fades. She nods and says it is better than she expected, then deliberately calls on me again for the next question. This time no one thinks it is just roll call. I answer smoothly again, switching between English and Chinese, hitting every key point without stuttering. Su Qing's eyes go from casual to serious, and she praises me for showing real improvement. The classroom buzzes, people asking since when my English got this good and whether I am using cheats. Yizhou slumps over his desk and mutters that I have awakened in every subject. Li Mengyao keeps her head down, but she has heard my answer word for word, and her grip on her book tightens just a little. I feel it now, the over 60 spirit and the passive working together. My thinking is clear, my words come easy, and that old feeling of stuttering and getting stuck is almost gone. A few days later, the math teacher walks in and scans the room, asking if anyone still cannot solve a tough function problem from before. The class plays dead, heads drop, books flip, and nobody volunteers. Then he calls my name. Yizhou behind me yelps that I am done for. I stand up, glance at the problem on the board, and the steps unfold in my head almost on their own. I walk to the podium, pick up the chalk, and write line after line without stopping, clean and clear. When I finish, the teacher stares at the board, then nods and says it is correct, and even the optimal solution. The classroom erupts in whispers, people asking since when a guy with average grades could pull this off. The math rep Zhou Mingxuan pushes up his glasses and stares at me. He clearly cannot accept it. He raises his voice so the whole class hears, saying I probably just got lucky with a familiar problem type, and that the upcoming monthly exam will cover the whole function chapter and show who has real ability. Zhou Ye slaps her desk and tells him that since he was not the one explaining on the podium, he should know in his heart whether it was luck. I lean back, look him dead on, and tell him I will see him at the monthly exam. The room goes quiet for a second, then buzzes again. Soon after, the homeroom teacher Cao Mingyuan announces the monthly exam, a diagnostic test that will decide seating, and warns that results go straight to the parents' group chat. The class wails. People moan that their moms will unalive them. I just sit there, quietly eager to see how far the system has carried me. The exam runs over a few days. Chinese first. I glance at the paper and my brow relaxes. The reading structure forms in my mind. The classical Chinese needs almost no thinking, but near the end, I hit knowledge points I never fully mastered and have to fill them in by understanding alone. The essay topic is traces of growth, and I barely need to brainstorm. The last month is the best material I have. Math and physics come back to back, the real watershed. Zhou Mingxuan sits up straight and moves his pen steadily, long used to the rhythm. For me, the first few questions unfold automatically, but when I reach the medium to hard ones, I slow down. It is not that I cannot do them. It is that I am not confident yet. My foundation is still young, so even when my path is right, I double-check, leaving extra lines on my scratch paper. English comes next, and Su Qing slows her steps as she passes my desk, surprise flickering in her eyes. The vocabulary, the sentences, the composition, all changed. Chemistry flows smoothly once my understanding catches up, and biology is slightly weaker but does not collapse. Overall, it feels balanced. The exam ends and the air feels lighter. The time was just too short for me to fully master some question types. I made real progress, but beating Zhou Mingxuan, a guy who is always second in the class and top 50 in the grade, might be a stretch. Still, it does not matter, there was no bet, so if I lose, and I will pass him next time. Yizhou drags over looking like his soul got deleted, moaning that he is completely screwed. The next morning is the loop again. I run, I shower, I head out, but the whole school is humming. The day after, Cao Mingyuan walks into class holding a grade sheet instead of papers. The room goes dead quiet. He places the sheet on the podium and says the exam was okay overall, then mentions that someone has improved a lot. He scans the room, pausing on me. Zhou Mingxuan and Li Mengyao then starts reading the top three. First place, Li Mengyao 675, ninth in the grade. Nobody is surprised. Second place, Zhou Mingxuan 632, 49th in the grade, and he lets out a relieved breath, the corners of his mouth lifting because I did not pass him. Then Cao pauses, his gaze lingering on me, and reads the third place. Chen Zhuan 613, 78th in the grade. The classroom explodes. I am surprised too. I expected progress, but not this much. With its third, I can basically pick any good university, and this is only the beginning. Voices burst out asking if it is really me, the guy who used to be lower middle with zero presence, now charging into third. Zhou Mingxuan's smile freezes and his face sinks. At the end of last semester, I scored in the 400s, and now I am only 19 points behind him. He had publicly declared "see you at the monthly exam," and now I am sitting right behind him. Yizhou stands straight up in shock. Zhou Ye spins her pen faster and faster, staring at me, and Li Mengyao presses her lips together, a strange glint in her eyes. Cao raises a hand to quiet the room and praises my hard work, calling me a dark horse who is truly deserving of the name and telling everyone not to be surprised, since they just never saw the effort others put in. Then he announces the seats will be picked by rank, top 10 choosing first. First place is Li Mengyao, and many boys secretly straighten their backs, hoping to sit beside her. But she quietly tugs my sleeve and asks where I plan to sit, then simply stays in her original seat next to me. The aisles stir with surprise, people muttering that with her grades it does not matter where she sits. When my turn comes, I walk back to my old spot, and Li Mengyao moves her chair to let me in. The whispers spread, half the class convinced I picked the seat just to be her deskmate, calling me superficial. Then the class monitor Su Qingyo, always in the top 5, walks straight to the row behind me and sits down, saying she is curious how my grades suddenly shot up and, more importantly, wanting to ask about my skincare. The gossip dials to the max. Up front, Zhou Mingxuan takes it all in, his face dark, already feeling crushed before anything has even started. That afternoon, while I am still at school, my mom is back home picking up my sister wanting for lunch like she does every day. While she cooks, she opens her phone and a message pops up in the parents' group chat. The monthly exam results for class 3 are out. She only means to glance at it, but her finger stops. On the screen is one line: Chen Zhuan 6 and 13 points, 3rd in class, 78th in grade. The oil sizzles in the pan, but she does not even hear it. She mutters, "Who is this?" then realizes it is her own son. She reads it again and again, her heartbeat speeding up. She calls for my dad the moment he walks in, holding the phone up to his eyes. He frowns, takes one look, and freezes too, repeating the numbers like he cannot believe them. From the sofa, Wanting hears the commotion and looks up. When my mom says I scored 6 on 13, the air goes silent for a second. Then my sister laughs, that absurd little laugh, and takes the phone. She stares at it, then frowns and says this cannot be right, since I only scored in the 400s at the end of last semester. Rising over 100 points in a month? Who would believe that? She says it is either a mistake in the records or it is something else. And the disdain at the corner of her mouth makes the word she does not say very clear. Cheating. The smile on my mom's face slowly stiffens. My dad goes silent. The joy from a moment ago feels like it got doused with cold water. My mom looks down at the phone, the excitement turning into doubt, and she starts wondering if it could really be true. My dad sighs and says they will wait until I come home that night. The sun sets. I walk to my front door with my backpack. The key turns with a click, and the lights are on. All three of them are there, but the air is too quiet. I notice it the second I step in. I pause while changing my shoes and ask what is wrong. Nobody answers right away. My mom looks at me with a complicated expression and hands me the phone, asking if this grade is mine. I glance at it and tell her yes, it is just 613, then ask why they are making such a big deal, joking that they prepared a surprise for me. My mom says nothing. My dad frowns and says nothing. The air goes stiff. Then wanting speaks, her tone light but carrying a sting. She asks if I am sure I earned this myself. My mom mutters her name but does not stop her, because she is waiting for the answer too. I stand there, my hand still on the doorknob, and my smile fades. I straighten up slowly and look at my sister, calm, no anger, no emotion at all, and ask if she thinks I cheated. She squirms under my gaze but still frowns, saying she just thinks it is unreasonable. 100-point jump in a month, and asks if I even believe it myself. I nod and tell her I do. Just one word, no explanation. Then I look at my parents and ask if they believe it. My dad is silent for a moment, then frowns and says this kind of grade is too sudden. He does not say cheating, but the meaning is clear. My mom opens her mouth and closes it again, also wavering. The living room is dead quiet. The air heavy. I listen to all of it, then nod and say fine, just one word, no argument, no explanation. I bend down to change my shoes and put my backpack away. My movement's completely normal, as if nothing happened, but the calmer I am, the more it unsettles them. Wanting frowns and asks what I mean by that. I look at her and tell her I do not mean anything, that since she thinks it is unreasonable, she can keep thinking it is unreasonable. The grade sheet is right there, and believing it or not is up to them. Then I turn and walk to my room. My mom calls my name, but I do not turn back. I pause at the doorway and tell them that if they think my grades are fake, they can call the teacher and ask. Then the door closes with a soft click. The living room falls into silence. For the first time, my mom feels a flicker of panic, sensing that this quiet son of hers seems different. My sister pursed her lips and mutters that I am just pretending, her tone disdainful, but nobody answers her. My dad lights a cigarette, takes a puff, and asks if they should just call the teacher. My mom hesitates, then picks up her phone and dials Cao Mingyuan's number. The call connects. She tells him she is my parent, her voice tense. The reply comes quick and steady. He says I made great progress this time, that it was not luck, and that there are no issues at all, since he has been watching my state lately. He adds that I was one of the few in the class who solved the final 2 challenging math problems, and that my reasoning was very clean, the kind of solving that cannot be faked by just drilling practice problems. The cigarette burns down between my dad's fingers and drops to the floor, and he does not even notice. My mom's hand trembles and her eyes turn red without warning. From beginning to end, she never once imagined her son could become top tier, and her first reaction was to doubt him, failing to give him even basic trust. Wanting still mutters that maybe the teacher is showing favoritism, and my dad snaps at her to shut up, startling her so badly she spills her potato chips. He stubs out his cigarette and walks toward my room. The day after the grade storm, Zhou Ye strolls up to my desk in front of the whole class. She leans over, props one hand on my desk, and sets a bottle of iced cola down with the other. The room goes quiet, then the whispers start, eyes drifting our way. She tells me to come to her place tomorrow morning at 8, to be tutored, 50 an hour, then warns me not to be late and says she will be waiting. Up front, Zhou Mingxuan freezes mid-step, his face shifting between pale and green. Li Mengyao, sitting beside me, hears the words employment and 50 an hour, and her tense shoulders quietly relax. She asks how close Zhou Yi and I are, and when I explain it is just a paid tutoring job, the strange crisis in her chest fades. So that is how it is. Not a date, just a part-time gig. Saturday morning, I show up at Zhou Ye's apartment. The place is wide and clean, clearly not an ordinary household. She is in a loose shirt with her hair tied up, fresh from sleep, and she tosses me a water bottle before we even start. An hour in, her lazy look is gone. She frowns at a vector problem, and I take the pen and explain that she misread a condition as a limit when it was a hint. 3 minutes later, she stares at me and admits my way of explaining is actually pretty good. Near noon, her phone rings. It is her aunt, and the voice on the other end is urgent. A model dropped out, the client is there today, and the shoot is falling apart. Zhou Ye rolls her eyes but agrees to cover, then turns to me and asks if I want to come along. I think it would be weird to sit alone in someone else's home, so I agree. On the way, she mentions the place is focused on looks, then grins and says if someone scouts me, not to blame her. I tell her then her aunt's taste must be average, and she laughs and scolds me for being too confident. We arrive at a creative imaging center, and the front desk girl sits up straighter when she sees me. Inside the studio, Zhou Ye's aunt Lin Yan walks over fast in heels, capable and sharp, then her words stick in her throat the moment she sees me. She scans me top to bottom, looks again, and says I am interesting. The male model just left, blaming his state, and she looks me over and asks if I want to try. No nonsense, very direct. Zhou Ye raises an eyebrow, suppressing a smile because this is exactly what she was waiting for. I ask what type and how much it pays, and Lin Yan's eyes brighten because I knew to ask. Athletic with a bit of wildness, paid by the session 1,000 if I pass today. In the dressing room, the makeup artist looks up and nearly curses, then sits up straight. She says basically no touch-ups are needed. My skin is ridiculously clean. As she works, she asks if I have modeled before, and I tell her this is my first time. She warns me the camera magnifies both strengths and flaws, then falls silent, because the more she works, the more absurd I look. Clean, sharp, with a bit of youthful aggression. I walk out to the set, athletic gear, iron racks, dark background, lights low. I change into a tank top, and the room goes quiet for a moment. The lights hit me, my shoulder lines clear, my arm lines clean but not exaggerated. The photographer says the look is fine but the feeling is too clean, too much like a standard template, and tells me to think of something that makes me unhappy. The living room flashes in my mind, that one question. Are you sure you took this test yourself? My knuckles tighten and my gaze changes. He slaps the camera and shouts that this is it. The shutter starts firing faster and faster, while assistants crowd over and whisper. After 3 minutes he stops, flips through, lands on the third shot and says to keep me, that I should not shoot only once. Then the studio doors push open. An assistant announces the investor representative has arrived, and a gentle woman in a silk shirt walks in, with Li Mengyao following beside her. Li Mengyao looks up, follows the gesture toward the center of the studio and freezes. That is me, in a black tank top, the cold, suppressed look still in my eyes. Her aunt, the woman beside her, turns out to be her mother Shen Royun, the investor. Just last night, Li Mengyao had been worrying my 50 an hour tutoring wage was too low and planning to help me find a decent job. And now I am standing in a top studio being showered with praise. Lin Yan smiles and tells Shen Royun the results are even more stunning than expected, half joking that she wants to sign me on the spot. Shen Royun sizes me up and can tell at a glance how impressive my potential is. Clean yet not frail, aloof yet not morose. She says she has heard Mengyao mention me and had meant to ask for my help in a couple of days, but it seems Lin Yan's eye for talent moved faster. Zhou Ye, leaning against a metal rack, grabs a bottle and hands it to me, naturally closing the distance, and says we have things to do. I nod politely to Shen Royun, say I was just filling in, and leave with Zhou Ye. Behind us, Li Mengyao keeps staring at the empty doorway. A ding sounds. My phone shows 1,200 yuan received. Note saying trial shoot fee plus hard work bonus. I stare at the number for 2 seconds. 1,200, not even half a day. Not an allowance? Not New Year money. Money I earned with my own ability. Something that had been weighing on my chest loosens. Zhou Ye glances over and clicks her tongue, saying I made more than 24 hours of tutoring in 3 hours. In the elevator, she asks what I plan to do now, and I tell her I am buying a new phone. 20 minutes later, I stand in a phone shop, picking out a smooth 1,000 yuan phone, finally relying on myself to make my life a little better. That evening, I get home around 8. My mom and dad are both in the living room, a boring variety show playing on the TV, but their minds are clearly not on it. My mom jumps up the second I walk in, asking if I am back and saying she heated some mung bean soup for me. I change my shoes, my tone calm, and tell her no need, I already ate outside. I take the old cracked phone out of my backpack and set it next to the tea set, telling them I do not need it anymore and whoever wants it can take it. My mom stares at the clearly new phone in my hand, her voice a bit hoarse, asking if I bought it myself. I tell her yes. My dad frowns and asks where I got the money, that habitual trace of doubt still in his voice. I glance at him. This time I do not stay silent or get angry. I just smile and tell him it was tutoring fees, plus pay for helping Zhou Ye's aunt with something, and that it is all clean money. Then I walk straight back to my room. The door clicks shut, and the living room falls into a deathly silence. My dad realizes it has been a long time since he truly understood this son of his. In my room, I lean back and fiddle with the new phone. It is incredibly smooth. The class group chat has 99 plus messages, and a bunch of people are tagging me. Someone even secretly took a photo of my back while I was running on the playground, with people jeering below, asking if I secretly got cosmetic surgery. I glance at it, smile, and do not reply. I lie down, and for the first time in a while I sleep peacefully. The next day I check my phone and Lin Wan has messaged me. There is a film crew next week that needs student extras. 200 a day, includes a boxed lunch, no acting skills needed, just standing. After making 1,200 for half a day of modeling, the contrast is funny. But the money is the money. I tell Zhou Ye about it during Sunday tutoring. and she laughs that I made 1,200 for half a day, and now I am back to a daily wage of 200. I do not take the joke. The money is the money. We get back to a vector problem at her apartment, sunlight falling on the coffee table between us. As I lower my head to explain, my voice unhurried, Zhou listens at first, but her gaze starts to drift. She stares at my profile, the clean jaw, the slightly damp hair from my morning shower, then blurts out asking if I have gotten even more handsome lately. I do not even lift my head and say maybe. She gets choked up by my flat tone and laughs, saying my skin is getting thicker and thicker. I tell her she was the one who asked. When you are short on money, you grow your own energy, I add, and she goes quiet for a moment. She is not stupid. The family conditions are not bad, but I am sensitive about money, calculating every step, which can only mean the money does not end up with me. She looks at me for 2 seconds and does not push further. She suddenly stretches out her leg and kicks my calf, saying class is dismissed early today and she is taking me somewhere. 15 minutes later, we stop at an indoor basketball court. She grabs the ball, spins it on her finger, and challenges me to take a shot, saying she has seen me running a lot in PE and wants to test my results. My first 2 shots miss, hitting the rim and bouncing off. The third goes in clean. The fifth I step back, jump and release, and it passes through the net with almost no sound. Her eyes light up, and she asks if I missed the first 2 on purpose. I tell her no, I just never practiced and I'm slowly finding the feel. She snatches the ball and tries her own shot, and it bangs off the backboard. She clicks her tongue and challenges me to one-on-one, wanting to see how ridiculous I am. For the next 10 minutes we play half-court. She is fast with strong explosive power, her drives carrying real impact, but she quickly finds my defense is like a wall, my footwork cutting off her position before she can get there. When I attack, I have no flashy moves, just simple dribbling, jab steps and step-back shots that keep going in. She pants, hands on her knees, sweat sliding down her wheat-colored skin, and asks if my physique is hacked. I toss the ball back and tell her maybe it is from all the running. She wipes her sweat, walks closer, and pats my shoulder hard, telling me I am becoming less and less like the old Chen Jiwan, then lowering her voice and adding that it is pretty good. Under the lights, her eyes are bright and direct, carrying that vitality unique to someone fresh off exercise. I look at her and feel something move slightly in my chest, then look away and ask if she wants to continue. She waves a hand, sits down on the sideline and says she cannot beat me, then tells me to take her out for a drink, my treat today. I nod. When we walk out the court, it is dark, the streetlights casting orange light onto us. She rides her electric scooter, carrying me slowly through the streets, and asks why I always used to keep my head down in the past. I am quiet a moment, then tell her that keeping my head down helped me see the road, and besides, back then nobody would look at me. She scoffs and says that was because they were blind, telling me to walk with my head up from now on. Then she adds that I am much more pleasing to the eye now than before. Back at school, the PE teacher Wang Meng pulls me aside after class. He had told me before to go into sports, and now he wants an answer. This big guy, over 1.8 meters tall, says that with my talent and his guidance, getting into Beijing Sport University is definitely possible, while my grades alone could never touch a top school. The students who have not dispersed explode with chatter, saying Zhao Zihang pestered Wang Meng for half a year and never got this kind of treatment. I tell Wang Meng to take it up with my homeroom teacher, Cao, first, and if he agrees to release me, I have no objections. I know Cao treasures his academic prodigy and would never let me go, so this passes the problem right off my shoulders. Wang Meng storms off to argue with Cao. Not far away, Zhao Zihang has heard every word, his face dark. He has trained since junior high and never gotten this kind of fuss. The more he thinks about it, the more unconvinced he feels. He walks over and challenges me directly. He admits he lost the 1,000 meter, but asks if I dare race him in the 100 meter. The crowd jeers that this is his specialty. I think about it and agree, asking if he wants to race now. He decides the school sports meet would be better, with more people watching, and asks if I dare sign up. I tell him fine, he said it himself. I check my physique on the panel, 66.5, my body now far past an ordinary high schooler, approaching a professional in explosive power. After he leaves, the crowd buzzes about how embarrassing it would be if either of us loses. I wipe my sweat, thirsty, and a bottle of ice water gets handed to me. Li Mengyao stands in the sunlight, her uniform sleeves swaying, telling me not to get heat stroke later and warning me the 100 meter is different from the 1,000. I ask if she is worried about me. She pauses, then averts her gaze and says she is just afraid losing will affect my study state, the tips of her ears red. I tell her not to worry. I will not lose. A lazy voice cuts in. Zhou Ye has arrived, twirling a bottle of cola, and asks if I am that confident. She tosses me the cola, then notices my faded flat sneakers and goes quiet. She asks if I plan to race in those, because for the 100 and 200, an explosive start needs grip, and flat shoes will not bite the track. She stands up and tells me to come buy shoes with her after school, saying I am her teacher now and she cannot lose face if I lose over equipment. On the commercial street, She pulls up at a sports store and tells the saleswoman to find me strong grip spikes. The woman pulls down a fluorescent green pair worth over 2,000, but Joye says it is too flashy and points me to an all-black basic pair. 499 yuan. I try them on and the steel spikes grip the rubber test track, each bounce carrying light explosive power. Before I can pull out my money, she shoves her membership card at the clerk and tells them to charge it. I stop her, but she lowers her voice and tells me to consider the shoes an investment. If I take 1 first place at the sports meet, call them a loan, and if I take 4, she will consider them a gift. I know she is protecting my pride in a way I cannot resent, so I tell her, fine, I will take those 4 first places. Then she stops me, saying I should test the shoes now, that the city stadium is right next door and empty at night. 10 minutes later, we are outside the Chengdu City Stadium, the orange lights making the track gleam. A few sports academy students are practicing nearby. I stretch my ankles, give the ground 2 light kicks, and the spikes bite in. Zhou Ye plays starter and shouts go. I explode off the line, the wind roaring in my ears, the track blurring backward. 50 meters, 70-80, and I am still speeding up. Her smile fades into shock. After I finish, I am only slightly out of breath. The sports academy students stare, cursing, asking who I am and if I am from the city team. One of them pulls out a stopwatch and times me. 11. 3 seconds past the national level 2 threshold. They cannot believe it, asking if I am messing with them by playing dumb, and I tell them it is my first time in spiked shoes. They test me again and I run 11.1. My start clearly sharper. The whole area erupts. Then a middle-aged man in a black tracksuit walks over, his eyes locked on me. The sports academy students recognize him as Coach Lee. He says he is from the municipal sports team and wants to time me himself, that my acceleration in the second half is unusual. He stands at the finish with professional timing gear, a crowd gathering and recording. Joye gets nervous even though she is not the one racing. I lean forward, the spikes gripping, and at go I rush out skimming the track, 30, 50, 70 meters, and my speed is still climbing. My stride frequency becoming more stable. Coach Lee's calm face turns serious. The moment I cross the line, he looks down, then slowly up, and the whole playground goes quiet. 10.98 seconds. The surroundings erupt, the sports academy student's scalps going numb. He asks if I have really never trained, and when I say I never had the money to run before, he hands me his business card with both hands. Calling me Chengdu and Sichuan province's treasure, telling me I can find him anytime. I take it without wild joy, and my calm makes him rate me even higher. The blurry video of me breaking 11 seconds spreads through the whole school. Even though the image is dark and the face cannot be seen, the playground becomes the center of everything. Sports team members train, and ordinary students argue about whether the 1098 is real. Zhao Zihang becomes the loudest voice on the other side. He publicly shows off on the playground how a sped-up video can fake acceleration, and declares that if I can run under 11 seconds, he will eat his spiked shoes on the spot. He cannot afford to admit the runner is me, because that would turn his years of hard training into a joke. Meanwhile, I stay too calm. I do practice problems, eat, and think about buying new clothes with my prize money. As class monitor, Su Qingyu keeps glancing at me and feels something is off, like I am not avoiding the situation but waiting for a moment to cut off all the noise at once. Li Mingyao no longer stares at the video or talks to me, but when she organizes the volunteer forms, her pen lingers, and she changes her name to the Finish Line Water Delivery Group. She wants to see the numbers jump up close when those feet cross the line. The day before the sports meet, Wang Meng is on the phone with Coach Lee, his voice loud enough to blow the roof off, confirming the 100-meter final time. After hanging up, he looks at Zhao Zihang sweating on the playground, then at me strolling back with a bottle of water, and can already imagine the leader's jaws dropping tomorrow. At my home, my sister Wanting scrolls the video and asks my mom if the runner looks like me. My mom leans over, half believing, saying I only started morning jogging recently, but the shoes are exactly the same. My dad takes a drag of his cigarette and suddenly says he will take time off tomorrow afternoon, and they will all go. The next morning the buzz has not cooled. During morning study, Wang Meng storms in through the back door with a bang, shoving his phone in my face, pointing at the blurry black afterimage, his voice trembling as he asks if it is me. The whole class turns to stare, and even Cao pokes his head out of the office to scold him for interrupting study time. I put down my water bottle and stand up unhurriedly, asking what it is. He says it is the 1098 from the city stadium, that the figure and the amateur start match no one else in the school. Before I can answer, a cold sneer comes from the back door. Zhao Zihang walks in with a few sports students, telling Wang Meng he must still be drunk from last night. He argues that a 1098 hand-timed run is the threshold for a quasi-level 1 athlete, that the school team struggles to break 11.5, and that a guy who could barely pass the fitness test before cannot run that in cheap spikes. He says the video is blurry, looks like anyone, and is probably someone from the city team filming a skit in a school uniform. Then he stares at me and asks me to tell everyone myself. Is that person me? Everyone's eyes turn to me. Zhou Ye rests her chin in her hand, watching with great interest, wanting to see how I wrap this up. I glance at Zhao Zihang's face, which is plastered with a please deny it quickly look, then at Wang Meng's hopeful face, and finally let my gaze rest on the English book on my desk. I do not nod or shake my head, I just say, in a calm tone, that he is right. The whole room falls into a strange silence. Zhao Zihang grabs the lifeline and claps his hands, laughing loudly, saying he told them so, that I would have shown it off long ago if it were true. Wang Meng's eyes dim and he scrutinizes me, asking if it is really not me. I have already sat back down and picked up my pen, replying casually, maybe. The perfunctory tone leaves him speechless, and he sighs and tells everyone to scatter. Zhao Zihang shoots me a cold glance, warning that we will see the truth at the starting line. After the crowd thins, Su Qingyue asks if I am okay, while Zhou Ye covers her mouth, holding back laughter, poking my back with her pen and saying I am rubbing salt in the wound, that Zhao Zihang looked like he was giving himself a pep talk. I tell her he was the one who insisted on competing, that whether he believes it or not is not important, my prize money is real and not a single cent can be missing. Li Mengyao keeps her head down, holding her phone with that very video. She is far too familiar with me from sitting beside me 8 hours a day, familiar enough to recognize me from a blurry back of the head. She turns to me and says, low enough for only us, that the person in the video is me. It is not a question. I nod and say I did not deny it. She asks why I did not make it clear, and I tell her there is no need. That no matter how much I say, it is not as good as waiting for the sports meet and letting them see the facts. She suddenly smiles and says I am very bad, and I thank her for the compliment. The next day, the 100-meter preliminaries. Zhao Zihang locks into the blocks the first heat, explodes off the gun, and leads from the start, crossing at 11:31 and breaking the school record. The playground erupts, and he punches the air, his first time truly under 11.5. In the second heat I stand calm, even my warm-up perfunctory. At the gun my start is not fast, only second at 30 meters. People shout that the video really was fake. Then at 40 meters I accelerate, overtake and pull away before deliberately slowing the final 20 meters and turning my head, holding back. The screen reads 11:52. The crowd buzzes that the video was not me after all. Coach Li, at the finish, is the only one who sees I controlled my speed. My stride frequency never breaking. The 100-meter final. My parents are in the corner of the stands, my mom holding a thermos of pork rib soup, my dad in a clean jacket, my sister wanting is bouncing with excitement. My dad, an old craftsman with an eye for power, had already noticed in the heats that my finish was too calm. Like I had just finished a stroll. I place my hands on the ground, my back arched high, and there is no Zhao Zihang, no Li Mengyao, no parents in my vision. The gun explodes. I burst off the line so fast that by the time Zhao Zihang lifts his head, I am already 3 body lengths ahead. The stands gasp, some students standing straight up. This time I do not slow down. I lower my center of gravity for one final push and cut across the line like a white laser. The screen flashes red. 10.72 seconds, a new all-time record. The stadium goes dead quiet for 3 seconds, then erupts in a wave of sound. On the rostrum, Coach Li drops his stopwatch and does not even notice, while the sports bureau leaders shoot up from their seats demanding the recording be saved. I stop steadily in the buffer zone, take the water Li Mengyao runs over with, and turn to the rostrum to ask the leaders whether the record-breaking bonus counts as 2 portions. Zhao Zihang sits slumped on the track, his face gray, the number 10.72 hammering into him. He remembers standing before the finish line mocking me after the heats, and a chill shoots up his back. Nobody surrounds him anymore. Nobody discusses his 11:31. His years of pride have been crushed into a joke, and what hurts most is that the thing he struggled so hard to touch, I had not even taken seriously. I move through the rest of the day like it is nothing. The 200-meter preliminaries, 22:03 and first. My finish so easy, Coach Li shoots up again asking how I am this ridiculous. The 200-meter final, 21:81, a new record. The 400-meter final, where I sit third for the first 200, then reel everyone in from the outside lane to take 49.78, another record. The crowd stops shouting holy crap because they are numb now. The 4x100 relay is without suspense, and the moment the baton hits my hand I pull more than 20 meters ahead before the line. 4 first places, 3 records. Coach Li tries to recruit me to the provincial team, but I tell him training takes too long and would interfere with my studies, that my grades are fine and I do not plan to go pro. He is stunned, the leaders suspecting they misheard, because that is a place sports school students break their legs to enter. He realizes what is truly terrifying is not the genius who works desperately hard, but the monster who, just practicing casually, already crushes everyone. He decides to work through my parents instead. In the stands, my mom stares at the boy surrounded by leaders, coaches, and pretty girls, and feels he is suddenly far away from her. She grips the thermos, the soup she woke at 5 to stew, remembering she never once made me a late-night snack when I used to study. My dad watches my calm face, still worried only about whether the bonus will be distributed, and the regret in his chest finally reaches his throat. My sister sends the video to her own class group with the caption, "My brother." The group explodes, everyone envious of her, and the pride in her chest fades a little as she remembers complaining about my spiked shoes. That night the dinner table is quiet. My mom keeps putting food in my bowl, and I pull it back, telling her I can do it myself. My dad asks in a low voice if I really will not go to the provincial team. I tell him I want to get into university. After dinner I message Zhou Yue and Li Mengyao that I will not be at school the next day, then remember to tell Yi Zhou too. He replies that he wants to come experience earning his own money, so I message Lin Wan to move the film crew extra gig up by a day, 200 each, including a boxed lunch. Yi Zhou skips school the next morning, sneaking out before his dad notices. We arrive at the Southwest Film Base, and Yi Zhou's eyes cannot take it all in: the campus streets, the cafes, the staff running with cameras. Lin Wan walks over, takes off her sunglasses, then freezes. Ticks ago I was clean and pleasing to the eye, but now my figure is upright, my features more defined, and I have a strong camera presence, the kind of person you cannot help looking at. She asks if I secretly got plastic surgery, and Yi Zhou bursts out laughing, saying she is not the only one who suspects I evolved behind everyone's back. A female assistant nearby asks if Lin Wan is sure she wants me as just a regular extra. Then Lin Wan pulls out her phone and shows me the 100-meter video, already over 100,000 likes, the comments calling for an investigation since I run like I am using nitrous boost. She looks at me with a strange gaze and asks if I am actually going viral. I shake my head and tell her it was just a school sports meet. The invisible boy who sat in the back row, the one a camera would sweep right past, the one his own family thought cheated, is finished. In his place stands someone the whole school turns to stare at, someone going viral online, someone earning his own way. All of it built one disciplined point at a time, run by run and night by night, with the panel still glowing quietly in the corner of my eye. The numbers climbing higher every single day. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and comment. Run for the prize money if you want the next part to this series. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.